Jerry Williams Sr.
Well, hello, Talk Labor audience. We're back again at Talk Labor. You're here with Jerry Williams. It's like being at home talking with your friend, except we get things done here. So keep in mind what I tell you every week, and that is that this is your megaphone. You can talk, you can come in. I got a ton of emails that I'm going to have to answer. I tell you that every week, and I never get to them, but we're going to get to those because we have so many things going on. This is your megaphone for you to talk. Come and tell people what bothers you or what you're happy about. We have a lot of guests on here, and we're just happy to have a voice for the people. And when you do, you come in and you talk about the things that bother you. Because if you don't, believe me, it can and will become a quiet injustice, and it can be detrimental to you, your family, and all the people around you. So talk about it. Don't be afraid. Have you ever watched how sometimes people, don't be afraid to talk about it. Have you ever watched how sometimes people know when things are going wrong, but they're afraid to say it? I mean, you know, if you see blatant racism, people are afraid to say it because I don't want nobody to say, I'm complaining about being violated. Why not? If you're being violated, say it. And if there's some things that's going on with your job, don't be afraid to tell your manager. I won't say boss because I don't like that word, but don't be afraid to tell your manager when you see things going wrong, because that's what America is all about. Free speech. I've done, you know, and I know we've all done history and studies and geography and all this stuff. We've done history, and we know about other countries. We know about ancient civilizations, and from what I can see, this is a pretty good one here in the United States of America. These guys came up with a pretty good idea, especially with that Constitution. And if everybody followed that Constitution, we'd be living in milk and honey. But they're not going to do it. You got people that are greedy. They will take your last breath from you if you don't watch them. So when you see that type of thing happening, be it to you, to a friend of yours, to your neighbor, talk about it. You see, because if we all work together, you know, no harm will come to us. But if people pick you off individually, and that's what's been happening, then we can all be in trouble. So when you see it, come and talk about it. Come and talk about it. Now, I want to talk a little bit about labor today. Do you all know what's happening to your labor? When I say labor, I'm talking about your unions. Do you know what they're trying to do to you? They're trying to pick unions off one by one. They tell you that, hey, you're okay, but them guys over there, they make more money than you, and they should be brought down to where you are. That's why you're not making that money, because they ought to bring them down. Now, anybody that believes that must have left their intelligent hat by the door and have their stupid hat on. Because if they're telling you that they're making too much money, what they're saying is that we don't think we should be paying you nothing. We want to bring it down. We want to bring it down. We want to bring them down to where you are. How about taking me up to where they are? You know, people don't, you know, you just got to think about it like that. Take me up to where they are. You got these Republicans and, you know, and let me back up a little bit. You ever hear these people talk about, well, you know, these politicians, none of them are any good, and it don't make no sense to vote. I mean, it's all the same. That's a game, folks. They're trying to work on you. They don't want you to vote. They are not all the same. Your Democrats are doing everything they can to fight for this middle class. Your Republicans are doing everything they can to turn this country into a third world country. They've been doing it for years. Now, if you don't believe me, I want you to do this for yourself. Do this research for yourself. Don't be lazy. Don't be lazy. Go back 70 years from now. At least 70 years from now. Let's go back 80. Tell me how many bills that Republicans passed that was beneficial to the middle class America. Go back and research for yourself and see how many bills were passed by the government when it was controlled by Republicans that are beneficial to middle class Americans or poor. Then go back the same number of years and see how many bills were passed by Democrats for the middle class and the poor. You're going to find that Republicans have not passed one bill that will help middle class and poor. Not one. And if they do, come on my show and call me a liar to my face, and I'll apologize to you. Okay? And you know I don't like nobody to tell me I'm wrong, because I think I'm right all the time. But come on my show and tell me that. This is what's going on. And what they do is tell you, well, they're all the same. No, the hell they're not. They're not all the same. And I get sick of hearing that. So, you know, you got to do some of the research for yourself. I got my guest today is going to be a guy that does a lot of research and give you a lot of information on how you can look up things and find it for yourself. Will I fight for the middle class and working people as long as I live? Yes, I will. I will. Will you be rewarded, Jerry, for doing it? In some ways not. Biggest thing I get out of it is I'm a Christian. I was born and went through and raised a Christian. And I do think you should help your brothers and sisters. And I do think you should help your neighbor. You know, I believe in that. Not to the point that I'm going to hurt myself. Now, don't get me wrong. But I will reach out and I will help mine. So that's why you see me fight like I do all the time. When you work and do these type things, Jerry, do you get rewarded financially? Sometimes. I try to make sure I do. Because the first thing I'm going to do is take care of my family and me. Then I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to fight for you. I'll give you my last drop of blood because I believe in you. When you see me fight like I fight, it's because I believe in this country. These people try to make you think that you don't belong and it's not part of this country is not part of your country, and you should be just happy to be here. Oh, hell no. This is my country too. I came over here, not in the same manner, but just like you did. You weren't born here. Nobody, other than the Native Americans who were born here. So when this country was developed, it was developed for everyone. And the reason they developed is because they want to have a different variety of people here and different religions. Everybody can't, like, say if you go to Saudi Arabia, you got to live by one religion. If you don't, head cut off. Not here. You can have 900 religions here. And no one religion dominate the other. So this is one of the things I like about this country. Also, you have freedom of speech. You can say it, as long as you're not putting anybody in harm's way, but you can say what you feel. You can call people out of their name. You can call people by their name. You can talk about anything that you want to talk about. You can say the president is no good slob. Not this president, I'm talking about other presidents. And but, you know, you can do that. And it's a blessing to have in this country. I'm so happy that we are not letting or allowing these hate groups, because I don't call them warriors and all that stuff, change how we feel and what we do in this country and how we live our lives. You know, they're gonna blow us up, and they're gonna kill us, and they're gonna, we're going about living our lives. You know, if anybody try to blow us up, guess what? The whole world will be set on fire. So they don't want to do that. They don't want to do that. Now, speaking of this president, I told you he's the best president. I told you he was the top 5 presidents, that's early on in his career, that ever stepped in the White House. And then I narrowed it down to the top 3. Now it's a contest between him and my boy. That's Abe Lincoln. Because of the stuff that he had to go through, I'm talking about Barack Hussein Obama. The things he had to go through, by his skin color being brown, dark, him being an African American, a true African American. You know, when we say we're African Americans, it's because we our ancestors came from Africa and we born here in America. Same as Irish Americans, ancestors from Ireland, and same thing. But this guy is a true African American. Daddy is from Africa and his mama from America. Daddy black as tar and his mama white as a pillowcase. It's so beautiful because you can't say, well, he's a black man. I can say he's a white man. So, but he's done so much for this country till it's not funny. If you just Google and Google up President Obama's accomplishments as president, it will knock your socks off. The media won't tell you the things that this man has done. They won't give you the facts about the things this man has done. And as my producer says, he did it in spite of them doing that. All the things he's done this in spite of. Now he wants to do this TPP, Trans-Pacific Trade thing, and people are, some people are up against it. The arms, got their arms up. I am too. Don't mean that he's Jesus Christ because I love him. He can make mistakes too. In my opinion, I think that's a mistake because I'm a labor person. And I'm saying we can work and network with the rest of the world, but we can't give them those breaks where it hurts us. You take our jobs and take them over to Vietnam and pay them 50 cents an hour, and then come back and try to sell us this garbage. Now the prayer says that inside the one that he's doing, he's got protections against that. Maybe, and maybe not. But I'd just rather not do it at all, because you don't endanger us by doing that type of thing. The people in America, and I'm not talking about the president, I'm talking about the Koch brothers and people like that. They want to rule the world. I mean, really, they really want to rule the world. And if you get in the way, they'll step on you like you're an ant, But if a bunch of us get together, we can eat them up. You ever seen an ant eat a man? Don't take them long. Don't take them long to devour him. And as long as we're together, but if they keep us separated, they can step on us, one by one. We're not going to let that happen. We're going to continue to do what? Vote. Vote, folks. You're going to continue to vote. We got a plethora of things to talk about today that I think you're going to be happy to hear some of them, and you're going to be concerned about some of the things we're talking about. We got some good things. We're talking about labor. We're talking about some of the labor issues that's out there today. Some people think that, they'll do it for me. They meaning the union leaders or the other people that's fighting, and it's going to be okay. When you look up, it's going to be too late. It's going to be too late. When you get, in America, you only get 50 to 55% of the people voting in this great country. That is damn pitiful. That means the other 45% of you lazy bastards are depending on us to take care of you. Get up and vote. This is your country. It's your country. But it won't be your country alone. It will be the Koch brothers' country. And that's what's happening. Things you have now, you won't have. It doesn't take a prophet to know that. It just takes somebody with some intelligence to know that a lot of the things you have now, you will not have. Koch brothers don't think that you should be driving around in that SUV. Koch brothers say that you should be riding a bicycle or walking to your soup line. And don't take that for granted. To your soup line. Folks, take a look at Detroit. Take a look at what they did to Detroit. Take a look at what they're doing to Cleveland. Take a look at what they're doing to Baltimore. And then look around your city and ask yourself, are we next? Yeah, if you don't step up. If you don't step up. But like I said, everything is not bleak. We got some good things. We're going to tell you how you can deal with those things. We're going to tell you how you can go out and make sure that you start neighborhood by neighborhood. Make sure your neighborhood is straight. Make sure your neighborhood is straight. And then you neighborhoods, you all get together and make sure your city is straight. So we're going to talk about that right after we come back from this commercial. I'll see you in just a few minutes.
I asked somebody what the time doesn't matter to them. People talking without speaking, trying to take what they can. I asked you remember prospect, how could I forget?
International Detective and Protective Services, 1-773-675-8506. Over 20 years of armed security experience. The very best in shopping mall security, inventory watch, find missing loved ones, investigative open legal cases, community policing. Are you taking a vacation this summer? For peace of mind, you need our House Watch service, cheetah surveillance, and much more. International Detective and Protective Services, 1-773-675-8506. That's 1-773-675-8506. Call now.
Golden's Tropical World. Come to Golden's Tropical World for tropical fish of all sizes, colors, and types, and other small animals like iguanas and birds from all over the world. There are beautiful tanks, pet supply needs, including dog and cat foods, and expert consultation. Check out Golden's Tropical World, 8611 South Ashland Avenue, Chicago, Illinois. Call ahead, 773-239-8809. Your Pet Shop.
Well, we're back, and as I promised you, we're going to talk about some things that are good. I got, I don't know if we can show this, but I got a couple of things here. Danny Joe Company, June 6th. That'll be June 6th. Let me see if I can get that on the camera there. Anyway, it's a dance company that is going to be at St. Sabina's. In St. Sabina's on what, 79th? Let me see where it is here. It's a dance studio, and it's a beautiful thing. It's going to be 800 South Racine at St. Sabina's. Danny Joe Dance Company. And this is for young kids, people, and the choreographer is a great choreographer. Has done work for some great people. And you know the amazing thing, she's only 23 years old. And I think that's fantastic that she's got her own company and got it up and running and dealing with these kids. And I want to ask my panelists about this. I got on the panel with me today, Ronnie Roach, research engineer. Ronnie, how you doing, man?
Jerry, how you doing?
Hey, glad to see you again.
Good to be back.
But we got Danny Joe here. I'm talking about her dance studio,
Yeah.
and it's June 6th.
Okay.
Kids can register for it, and it's really, really reasonable,
Right.
you know, for these young kids. And she's a great choreographer.
She's a great dancer.
Yes,
An
yes.
Excellent dancer.
Right, and I think she had classes like $20 a day, and it's $62 monthly. You don't get that, you know, in
Not
a lot
that
of
cheap.
places. But working with St. Sabina, working with Donda House, and all those type of people, she can afford to do that, you know, and I think it's going to be a wonderful thing. So if you want to get that information, you want to get out and let's see, where's that? Call 773-931-0178 and 773-931-0178. My producer said, repeat it, because you know you talk kind of fast, Jerry. Do I talk fast, Roach?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. But this is a great opportunity for young kids, and we're going to be advertising. We're going to have some videos to show, and we'll be working with this group because one, they pay to advertise, and two, it's a great organization.
Right.
And I'm going to try to have her on here next week. My producer just whispered that in my ear.
Right.
That we're going to see if we can have her on next week, and it's going to be a great thing. You're going to see some fantastic stuff from this young lady.
I've had the opportunity to be in her presence on several occasions. She's a very positive young black woman, and she's strong to be as young as she is. I mean, her head is on straight.
Right.
And she's an ideal young woman to look up to, for young people to look up to. Because, you know, she's just who she is. You know?
And nice.
Yes.
Humble.
You're sweet as she can be.
Yeah.
Humble and always looking for something, you know, to help. Always looking to help. She's never just not doing anything.
And
She's
very
always busy.
talented.
Yes,
Well,
she is.
I'm going to, according to my producer, we're going to have her on, because my producer gets a guest for me.
Right.
We're going to have her on next week, and we're going to talk about her and her show, her dance studio,
Right.
and the kids that she works with, and she give us a whole history on what's going on there. Yeah, she does. She gives young people something very constructive,
Right.
you know, to do. But Ronnie, what I want to talk to you about, I got you on again, is what's going on in labor, with the labor people. What's happening with labor, Ronnie?
Well, we're moving in a positive direction. You know, we've been taking stands for quite some time, but now people are starting to be more attentive to their needs, and they're more aware of what's actually going on.
That's good.
It's stopped being business as usual. You know, people realize that their livelihood and their lives are at stake, and they're stepping up and they're speaking out. And they've elected some very positive people and strong-willed people to stand up and represent them. So we're moving in a very positive direction now.
What about, is that like in the city, or is it all over the country? How, the state?
Well, I'm only talking to people here. It's in the state and in the city.
In the city?
Yeah.
Okay. Because you do have strong unions, but you got a guy in there now that's attempting to attack unions.
Right.
And then this is this guy, Rauner. And he comes like a big bad wolf. We're going to do this and do that, and you better fear me, because if you don't, I got $1 billion.
Okay.
So what I don't want to ask you what can he do with that $1 billion, but what about his attitude coming in,
Well, he's made people fear him, or some people fear him because of his money. But that's his money, and however he chooses to spend it, he can spend it. But you just can't, we don't fear your money anymore. We're not just accepting anything that you say,
Do you think he'll be a two-term or one-term president?
One-term
governor?
One-term
governor?
One-term governor.
I tend to agree with you, because he lied. And one thing I really was insulting, when he put these African-American people on his commercials, and they were, Bruce, he really looked out for me, and these jackleg preachers.
Them too.
Yeah, and I'm talking, and I'll name them, I'll name them Meeks, Cory Brooks, Cory Brooks, and all these little jackleg preachers. This is the way that they, and it's insulting, because in the past, that's what they would do. They would get the old preacher, and, because your flock gonna follow you, but he didn't really get a whole lot of African-American votes, but a whole lot of African-Americans didn't come out and vote, which is just like giving him your vote.
Right. They had less than, about a 30-some% turnout?
I think so.
And so, like we always say, a no vote is like a half a vote for the opposition. Even though when you say, well, one young lady told me, she said, I don't like either one. I didn't like no. Well, then vote for somebody. Just pick somebody.
Right.
Don't not vote for anybody.
Right.
Take the lesser of the two evils. But this man told you. He let you know from Jump Street what he was going to do to you.
Right.
Right.
And you still didn't come out and vote.
Didn't come out and vote.
And then I hear people, whining and crying about what's going on and why. I mean, this governor's gonna. Did you vote? Did you vote? That's what I ask them. You don't know how powerful it is. They got a big hammer, hit you in the head. You got a big hammer, but you throw it on the ground. You won't even pick it up and use it.
That's right.
Your big hammer is the ballot. You can hurt them with that. You can kill them with that. But just ask Mitt Romney.
That's right.
You can kill them with the ballot.
That's right.
But if you don't use it, it don't mean anything.
Don't mean nothing.
It don't mean anything.
What do you say? In silence, suffering in silence.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it can become a quiet injustice.
That's right.
And I tell you what, I want to move to subject now, and that is what's going on in pro sports. Now, I know the basketball game is going on, and they fired my boy. I don't like that.
Thibodeau?
Yeah, I don't like that. I'm mad about that, because these dummies, they wouldn't give Michael Jordan his due when he was here.
Right.
Jerry Reinsdorf and them clowns over there. Now they fired one of the best coaches in the league. Roach, what do you think about it?
Well, maybe he wouldn't dance to their music.
Well, that's what they said. I'm serious. That's what they said.
You can't be your own self man in here. You got to dance to their music.
Well, like he said, their music wasn't making no sense, so he said he couldn't dance to it. They got a while to go now. Forget it. Forget it. You won't be seeing the championship in a while. Another thing that I've been concerned about is what they are doing to these pro athletes when it comes to. We talked about Ray Rice, and we talked about Adrian Peterson, how they just dogged them, you know, and it don't happen to other people, you know, in the sports arena like that. And I'm listening to Windy City Live today, and they're talking about the young man that just had the problems, you know, with the Bears, McDonald, you know, and they were talking about a couple other people. And guy said, one of the guys on there, Rokon, I think he calls himself. Anyway, he says, well, you know, they're having, pro sports are having problems, and you know, and they better get it together, and they're having more problems. And this guy said, yeah, like Tiger Woods. Where in the hell Tiger Woods come in that conversation? Right. I mean, yeah, he was cheating on his girlfriend. Like, these guys are the only one that cheat.
You know,
that really just kind of puts me off the edge.
You know, nobody ever talks about Mark Gastineau. His ex-wife came on national TV and told what he did.
Yeah.
You know, they don't bring up, they don't talk about it. Kevin Green, when he grabbed the coach and the collar and shook him, I mean shook him. Oh, that was a bad reflex. You act like nobody does anything wrong but black athletes. You don't blame, and they felt like that they did, the boy from New England, he cheated his way to the Super Bowl, but that's all right.
But why are they picking on poor Tom?
Yeah, you know, this is the first, he just got caught this time.
Didn't they just take the trophy away from the Jackie Robinson?
From the Jackie Robinson, because somebody else filed a complaint.
Right.
But him, they knew about it.
Right.
That he was cheating.
And he lied and pretended like he didn't know anything.
Yeah.
And everybody found out that he did.
Yeah,
that's why they
know.
Talking about suspending him and stuff. But shouldn't they go a little further than that?
Yes, they should take the Super Bowl championship away. If you took the championship from the Jackie Robinson League, take the championship from him.
It's only fair.
It's only fair.
It's worse, way worse.
And he's a professional. That's what he do for a living.
Right. Right. And people saying, well, I don't think that, you know, they're saying, well, they should have put an asterisk by his name and anything that he does in the Hall of Fame. I don't think they should. I don't either. I don't think they should have him in the Hall of Fame.
That's right.
That's the way I feel about it.
If you had a problem, if you had a problem with Pete Rose,
right,
he didn't cheat.
Right.
He just bet on himself.
Right.
And you banned him from baseball for life.
You dogged that man.
You dogged him.
Yeah.
But here's a man cheat his way to the Super Bowl.
Right.
And you ain't got a problem with it.
Right.
Only in America.
You banned this guy from, like, he didn't do nothing. You're right. He didn't do nothing.
All he did was better. He didn't throw a game.
He didn't throw the game.
He said he bet on himself.
He didn't doctor up the ball.
No, he did not.
But you run him out of baseball.
Because he bet on himself.
Right. But you take the All-American boy in Mr. Brady.
Right.
And well, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about, that, you know, you got to be, this is just talk that we do around the fire.
Right.
You know, because my thing, I don't care if you know, I love football, I love basketball. I used to love baseball, I don't love it anymore. And, but I don't like people having unfair advantages.
Right.
You know, I see enough of that, especially in basketball, when they're trying to build up people like LeBron James, try to make him a superstar. And I know they do that because they want to keep the league, you know, money for the league. You keep the league up to the standards that it is right now, so we got to create a superstar.
Right.
I have a problem with that because I think a superstar should be a superstar. Now, a lot of people disagree with me. They say that LeBron James is the second coming since Christ. And I think LeBron James, to me, is just a glorified Karl Malone, you know, power forward. that could dribble the ball. He doesn't compare. He can't even be in the same stratosphere that Michael Jordan was in.
No.
He's not in the stratosphere that Kobe Bryant was in.
No.
He's not in the stratosphere that Magic Johnson was
No.
in. Now you can't. Them three right there, you can't touch them.
No comparison.
You know, and I don't know. He's right around there. Maybe in the stratosphere with Larry Bird. Larry Bird may even be better. And there are a lot of people that were a lot
Better ball player.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Better ball player. Because Larry Bird was you're just a better ball player than James. But they have to drum that up and build it up and make sure they got that superstar. And when you have the referees out there, they tell them, if he's coming down the lane, if it looks like they fouled him, call it.
Call it.
He can run over them and step on their face and keep moving, and they're gonna holler, "Oh, well, that really wasn't a foul." And that's the kind of stuff basketball. My friend stopped watching basketball years ago. His name was Larry Washington. You remember Larry Washington?
Yeah, I remember Larry.
Larry wouldn't watch basketball anymore because of that. The way they did that, they allowed referees to do that. And referees in basketball, in my opinion, are the worst professional officials in the world. They are the worst. I'm like, the things that they do, I'm like, you got 3 people out there running.
And nobody see it.
Nobody see it. And even when they go back and look at it on the telescope, they still don't see it. I'm still venting about Taj Gibson when they threw him out the game. This cat was scissor-legging him.
Right.
And
Trying to break his leg.
And he kicked his leg off. They threw him out the game.
Yes, they did. Suspended him for the next game.
Flagrant 2.
Yeah. Flagrant 2.
That's why I said, okay.
But they didn't throw, what's the boy from Houston? Howard?
Yeah.
He elbowed the boy in the face.
Dwan
Threw
Howard.
elbow to his face.
See, that's
And they
that.
say he's a superstar.
See.
Don't throw him out. But we want him to play in the final game.
Yeah.
So they let Hills go
They let him go?
because he's superstar.
Wow.
He don't play no better than Taj to me.
Wow. Well, that's that's sports.
Right.
That's sports. And there's not too much anything we can do about it except turn the TV off.
That's right.
If we turn enough TVs off, they'll do that.
Right.
They'll start making them do.
If the ratings go down.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying boycott sports, but hey, referees, guys, do they tell you to do this? If they don't, stop doing it. And if they do, let us know. Some kind of way, let us know. Let the public know. But we're going to get back into talking about something. One of the things, before I go to break running, is bowling. One of the things that's coming up is the Chicago Bowler Alliance. The Chicago Bowlers Alliance tournament coming up in July 11th. And it's hard for you to see that, but July 11th. And it's going to be awesome. It's going to be the Olympia Lanes, and they're going to be squads from 11 o'clock, and the squads at 3 o'clock. And you win big money. You can come out, and I'm going to give you some more real information on this next week. But you want to, if you're a bowler, you want to come out and check that out. Because if you can bowl, and there's a lot of bowlers. These young guys can really bowl. They can really bowl. I've watched some of them bowl, and they're really good. But they're nothing like the older guys. I'm not just saying that because I'm one of the older guys now, but they're nothing like the older guys, man. We used to bowl. These guys got these little jacked up balls now, man. You throw it out there and close your eyes and go straight to the pocket. Of course, I throw them too now. I'm not going to be cheated, but, with bowling, it's a lot of fun. Just take your family out, and you got bowling leagues and tournaments and stuff. And it's something to kind of take your mind off of the everyday.
And it's clean.
And it's clean, yeah, it's clean. It is clean. So is golf. towards golf. I got a special announcement coming up, but I can't talk about it for a couple of weeks. It is huge. It is really huge. I'm anxious to tell people, but I can't. I've been sworn to secrecy. And I can't let it out because the media get it and, they'll eat it up. But I got some great news for people. We're going to take a break, and we're going to come right back, Ronnie. We're going to wrap it up with some of the things that just happened recently in labor. Okay. That's really a concern, and we'll be talking about it. It's very serious. We'll be back in a minute.
All right.
You stay with me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Excuse me, what time are you guys leaving? We're gonna rob your house tonight.
Don't come closer. I have rabies. Don't you wish there were warnings to protect you from life's risks? With diabetes, there is one. It's called A1C, a simple blood test that helps measure your risk of serious complications. Learn more at diabetesaA1c.org.
Give up on sex, don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Find yours at bedsider.org.
Hart, what's going on?
I'm leaving.
Why? What did I do?
Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit.
Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just please,
don't leave. Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
That's slow. That's slow.
Look, he's blushing.
Well, we're back, and as I promised, we're going to talk about some things that are really serious. One of the things that I want to talk about is the killings and stuff that's going on in the city of Chicago and all over the nation. We don't know who's doing this killing. I saw the other day a guy, they showed him shooting into a car, and the car speeding off, and you would think, first thing you thought was those young black kids are shooting at each other, but when we looked closer, it was a white guy shooting into the car. That makes me think. So these are some of the things that I'm concerned about. We had a situation where a young lady was 8 months pregnant. Police threw her down on the ground on her stomach for no reason. He had no reason to arrest her, no reason to do that. He can't really explain it. They tried to charge her with resisting arrest, and when they asked what were they arresting her for, well, they didn't have no answer. They said that the reason that they were arresting her because he asked for her name and she refused to give it to him. She has the right to refuse it. But we're going to talk about that next week, and we're going to talk about some of the other things that's going on in this city next week. But right now, I got my guest, Ronnie Roach. I want to go back to some of the things we were talking about in labor. We witnessed some things today in labor that was totally ridiculous. And we're going to put a stop to it. Yes. As a lot of people know, we did file a lawsuit.
Yes, we did.
A historical lawsuit.
Yes, we did.
That was heard by the Supreme Court, and we're waiting on their response right now. We don't know what it will be, but in my heart, I believe that it's going to be favorable.
Right.
Could be, could not be, but I think it will. And some of the things that the Supreme Court, if they do rule, will resolve some of the problems that we saw today, where a group of people are trying to steal money from people that has been putting their money in the pension plan for 100 years.
Yes.
We saw that
Yes,
ourselves.
Yes, we did.
And we're here to make sure that that don't happen. We stopped them on the state level.
Right.
Now we're here to see if we can't stop this other action that's going on.
Right.
In Detroit, the unions over there are suffering. Especially the ones that I know about is ATU, that is in Detroit. They're doing, they're surviving, but they're suffering because Detroit, in case people don't know, Detroit, they took away all of their elected officials, the mayor, the alderman and everything, and sent one dictator in that city and said, this is the way you're going to live from now on. And the dictator has totally screwed it up. They're trying to rectify it now. It is a mess, folks. And again, Detroit, guess what? You sit on your ass and didn't vote. And this is what happens. This is what happens. Understand in one of the towns right around Detroit, they did the same thing too. They only did it to the black towns, and I have no problem telling you that. They only did it to the black towns in Michigan. They passed a law in Michigan that allowed them the right to take away your ability to elect your own officers. They passed that in the state of Michigan. They did some underhanded things to get it passed, but they still passed it. If you don't put this Republican governor in there, that don't happen. And then, it's incumbent on you to get out and vote. Ronnie, what do you think about that?
Well, that's a dictatorship. That's not a democracy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you take away my right to elect who I choose, then that's a dictatorship,
Well, okay, and they did that. So how do they rectify it? What do you do? How do you go about rectifying that?
You go to court, file a lawsuit, go to court and get it overturned.
Yeah. Well, I think they've done that. They did go to court, and the court ruled. It was so complicated. The court did rule, and then they came with some other little loophole that they jumped through with it. Yeah, and I think that there's the one solution. No, just get out there and vote.
Just vote.
One solution, they can't stop that.
Can you still vote for the governor?
I think they got a vote coming up in 2016.
Well, you know what you got to do.
Get him out.
Vote him out.
Get him out of there. You put a Democratic governor in there. They had a guy in one of the towns there, and he was a Caucasian guy. I love him. He's a mayor, Lansing, Michigan's mayor. This guy, he ran for governor this time. He almost got it, but they know they should have put that guy in there. He's sharp as a tack. He's very verbal, but he knows what he's talking about. And I think sometimes people fear that, and the Koch brothers came in with all fours to try to knock him out. Well, people, we got to show the Koch brothers and the Cocaine brothers and all of them that, you can't come in here with that money and run over us. We can outvote you.
That's right.
We can outvote you. Here's one thing that, folks, you got to listen to this. This is so important now. If you ever heard anything that I said all night, then you got to listen to this. It is so essential that you vote Hillary Clinton or whoever's running for Democrat in 2016.
That's right.
Because that person is going to select the next 3 to 4 Supreme Court justices.
That's right.
And if you want to get your life together, if you allow the Republicans to get the Supreme Court again, if you let them get the House, the Senate, the presidency and the Supreme Court, I'm moving to Baghdad.
Yes, I'm going with you.
I'm out of here.
Going with you.
Because these people are nuts. And I'm going to tell you something else, white America. You better pack your bags and go with me.
That's right.
Because when we're gone, you're going to become the new niggas.
That's right. Say it again.
That's what time it is. When we're gone, they become the new
Somebody got
niggas.
to carry the water.
Somebody got to carry the water. But you got to understand this, that if you do that kind of thing, then you deserve, just about what you get. And there's not anything, the only person that can stop that is you. Hillary Clinton, you put her in there, she will be choosing the next 3 to 4 justices. And that's going to be in a long time. They're going to be in a long time. You don't want to, well, I do want biased justices, but that's not what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be justices that can interpret the law.
Right.
Not these clowns that got in there now. These are Republicans with hoods.
Right.
With hoods on. And they're just not white hoods, they're black.
Still a hood.
Still a hood. That's what's going on in the Justice Department. That's what's going on with the Supreme Court, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Right.
But it's so incumbent upon us to make sure that we do all we can to make sure people get out and vote. Now, we could talk about them, but what we have to do sometimes is take them by the hand, lead them to the water. And most of the time they'll drink. If you lead them to the water, most of the time they'll drink. But Ronnie, I think that like I was saying earlier, what we saw today was criminal. But I do like the way the labor people stepped up.
Yes,
especially the labor president.
Yes, he did.
From ATU Local 241.
Yes,
he stepped on them, and and they understand.
Oh yeah,
they understand. He's not kidding.
They expected it. They've done it so long. See, if you get away with things so long, then you assume that's just the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not. This is the first time in almost 15 years that somebody has stepped up to the plate, in over 15 years, just about, I think, that stepped and took reins. It's smart, intelligent, and wise enough to get solid counsel around him to help him. And when he stepped into those meetings, he dot all his I's and cross all his T's, and he take it to them, and they can't refute it.
That's true. That's true. Well, we saw a demonstration of it today, and I like that, and that's what labor union leaders should be about. Not about self, but about your members.
That's right.
Whatever it takes to represent your members, don't be afraid to step up and speak up. Don't be afraid to say it. And it's an easy thing to do if you know what you're saying are facts.
That's right.
And you know what road to take if you have to litigate. That's so important. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna see. We got about a few seconds left. And I want to talk about some of the things we do, some of the young people we work with, and I just want you to see in the audience to see this young lady that we work. She's from not Saudi Arabia, but she's from Arabia, and she's 12 years old, and we work with these young people, and she is astronomical. She has a voice bigger than a house. So I'm gonna see if my engineer can run this clip. I just want you to see her. the young lady. That's the young lady. You see some of the young talent that we work with and stuff, and that's just one of them. And yeah, she's only 12 years old, but she's awesome. She's over here from Arabia, and we work with them, and we'll be talking about that. So we got a couple seconds left, Roach, and I think might have you on here again, man, if you're in town.
No problem.
And here's a book I want people to pick up: Ungrateful.
Yes.
The Rise and Fall of Labor Union.
Labor Union.
One of the best books out there. Amazon.
That's right.
Barnes and Noble. You can just get them everywhere. So go to the internet, pick up Ungrateful, The Rise and Fall of Labor Union.
You need it.
You got to have that.
All working people.
And you can get it in ebooks. You can get it on ebooks and everything. So, Ronnie, glad to have you on, buddy.
Glad to be back, Jim.
Hey, okay. Well, we're going to do this. We're going to take off. We're going to get ready to take off. And thanking you again for watching and making our show number one. You guys are the people that do that. So we're going to see you again next week on Talk Labor with Jerry Williams.
It's time to talk about what's going on in America. It's time to talk about what's going on in the workforce and in the homes of the American middle class. It's time to talk about the status and the future of today's economy. It's time to talk labor with your host, Jerry Williams Sr.